Hi, this is Michael Estrin. I'm a manufacturer's rep for the Kichler Lighting Company based out of the New York, New Jersey marketplace. And they've asked me to present some landscape low voltage lighting to you all today. We're going to talk about tree mounted lighting, commonly referred to as moonlighting, and hardscape. Hardscape lighting up all those beautiful stones on our property. So let's start with the downlighting. What is downlighting? It's commonly referred to as moonlighting, which we all have walked outside just by the moonlight, and you know how beautiful that can be. It's a fantastic technique. The fixtures are always mounted up high, and we want to bring the light down to either eye level or the ground, depending upon what you're looking to achieve. And it is also considered the most natural of lighting design methods. So the picture on the left is a nice big tree where you have a park bench below it and a light up in the tree. And you can see that it's just illuminating the people who are sitting there. So the first thing we want to do is establish the correct height and location for the fixture. Location is very important because we want to take into account the future, and we'll talk about that a little later. The installation should always include something to take care of the ambient glare because nobody likes that. And we also have to have the right mounting accessories and know how to do it so we don't harm the tree. So the recommended mounting height for the average moonlighting is between 50 and 20 feet. It doesn't mean we can't go higher. It doesn't mean we can't go lower. The height allows the light to catch what the branches and the leaves of the trees look like down on the surface. I happen to like it best in the wintertime when there are no leaves and you just have that eeriness, almost like Halloween. Looks awesome. We're mimicking moonlight, and we've all walked in moonlight, so we understand that. And it's very dramatic. And I don't know about you, I like dramatic lighting. Been in lighting my entire life. So here are some fixtures that work very well. We have two different types, what we call drop-in, where it's a fixture designed for the application and you use an LED lamp, as well as other ones that are integrated LEDs. These are the drop-ins. We're going to talk about them first. The fixture on the left, as you see, looks like one of our standard 15384s, but it is not. It comes with the tree mounting bracket, as well as you see the honeycomb, the louver, to help cut down glare. Then we have a newer model with a different type of bracket. This is in our casted brass series called CBR, where you use a drop-in MR16 lamp, and it has a little longer cowl and has a bit of a different photodynamic to bring the light out from a higher vantage point. For the integrated LEDs, we could use a wide variety of them because they will all work just a little different. This is what we call our Gen 1.5, which is basically the everyday fixture in a wide flood, but we could also do a narrow flood or a narrow spot depending upon where you're going to put it in the tree, and it's integrated. Kichler warranties these LEDs for 15 years in a residential application. That is amazing, best in industry. And then we have a few different models of what we call VLO, or variable lumen output. Here is a 60-degree fixture that you could set at either 100 lumens, 200, or 300 lumens. That's pretty impressive. And it's available in bronze, black, and the casted brass. And then we ask you to also order for the tree mounting bracket. Here is a newer model of our VLO that is either 1,000 or 1,200 lumens, which is pretty impressive, in the bronze finish, integrated LED. It comes with the long cowl and a green lens, and it's also 50K. 50 degrees Kelvin, or excuse me, 5,000 degrees Kelvin. Very important, because that best mimics the moonlighting. Here's just a piece of our catalog. As you can see on the right side here, we have two different levels, 1,000 and 1,200 lumens, by using a little magnet that comes with it, and there's a little dot on it, and it allows you to set the light. Because let's say, you know, it's a relatively young tree, it's not up all that high where you're going to mount it, do it at 1,000 lumens. But what about 10 years from now, when the tree has grown substantially and you want more light? You just take the magnet and you adjust it to the 1,200 lumens, which is pretty cool. This is a rendering of a mounting bracket that we have, the 15609, which we referenced, that little box. It's good for both low voltage and line voltage applications. It is resistant to corrosion. It's cast aluminum, and it's texture coated to seal it. Any screws that you use into a tree need to be stainless steel screws, because we do not want to hurt the tree. Brass or steel could do that. We don't want to do that. And here are those two brackets again that we were talking about during the course of the presentation. You see, we also have different cowls. That way you're able to adjust your glare control. And then some quick mounting installation tips. We don't want to damage the tree. As I indicated, always use stainless steel screws for installation. You should also not bring it right against the tree, the screws, to screw it all the way in, because what's going to happen is over time the tree grows, and we want to give some room for expansion of that tree growth. And we also need to have a little extra wire at the base of the tree, so when it grows up, it's not putting a taunt on your low voltage cable. Some other installation tips is sometimes we do things in the way of temporary, so that way we can make sure it's what we want before we screw into that tree. And then the fasteners need to be, of course, the screws, stainless steel, as we talked about, and brass and copper screws are toxic to a tree. We're not here to kill it. We're here to augment the tree and your life. The low voltage cable should be run in the least visible location in a tree. And that's usually on the back side, whatever you deem as the back side, but also spool some up at the base of the tree. So as the tree grows, you have that ability to not pull the wire. J-hooks work well as we always recommend to use a plastic zip tie to attach the cable to a J-hook. Now let's move on to our hardscape, which is some of my favorite lighting. I mean, just look at that picture. Those beautiful stones have lights underneath the top piece of slate to really accent what the beauty of this home looks like. There are 4 different lengths, from 3.5 inches to 18 inches. The interesting thing I find is the most popular one is the 6-inch fixture. And we'll look at that in a little while. All of Kichler's LED landscape lights, integrated landscape lights, work between 9 to 15 volts. Very important if you know a bit about the industry, about voltage drop, which we really don't talk about much anymore, allows us to be able to run at a lower voltage. Some of the product features. We have 2 different color temperatures, 2700 and 3000 K. Just depends upon, is it a contemporary home or is it a more traditional? Up in the area that I work, we're about 50-50 in the product that we sell. It's available in 5 finishes, being architectural bronze, black, brass, or casted brass, I should say, gray, and sandstone color. The fixture is glare-free because there is a lens on top of the LEDs which diffuse that, so there's no scalloping. It's fantastic distribution. And what you can't see from the picture is the pivot. The light does pivot, so you can aim it if you want. And then, as we talked about, in the 9 to 15 volt operating range, it's the exact same lumen output. So the first fixture is identical to the last. And as I said, 15-year residential warranty. You can have a consumer buy our fixtures and rest assured, if there's a problem 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we will take care of making them happy. We will replace it. We're also very much into maintaining our lumen levels. And the lumen levels were based on a lot of homework that Kichler did with electrical contractors and landscape contractors, as well as showrooms, to see what is the best amount of light. And that's how we geared the fixtures. They're totally encapsulated, so water is not going to get in there, because as you know, water is the enemy when it comes to landscape lighting. And this gives us a terrific distribution of light. Where do we use it? So the first is under header caps of retaining walls. That's right up here. On the lip of the stair, which we'll look at in a different picture. Under handrails, outdoor kitchens, under patio benches. If you could dream it, we can light it. Look at the picture of the snow. How beautiful is that in the wintertime? We always want to make sure that we install these fixtures before they put on this top piece of slate stone, because that is actually what's going to hold it in place. So where else can we use it? Under the lip of a brick or stone step. Look at those steps to the right. Those are just small fixtures, and based upon how wide the steps are. Now we're showing this in the daytime, but it's beautiful at night where it really does light up the whole area, but we wanted to give you an idea of how it looks. It's installed before we do the slate on top. Important because that holds it in place. And always remember, we have to run the wire, so you got to leave a little channel for that. So on railings and decks, there are lots of ways to use this. It's installed actually after the deck is constructed, as we could use fasteners to go into the deck. And the hardscape fixtures and wires can be hidden under the lip of a railing very, very easily. And then here's another picture of steps at nighttime. And you can see that 6-inch fixture, how beautiful it looks. One of the best pieces of advice anybody ever gave me about landscape lighting is to plan ahead. Know what the design is going to look like before all the stones are installed or before the deck is completely built. That way, a lighting professional can help with that. Either being Kichler's Advanced Technical Services team can help lay out a project, or your local Kichler representative. Plan ahead. Remember, where's the wire going? Always leave a little extra wire. You never know. And if you ever need to replace it, you'll be able to cut the wire and replace it. So, although you can't ask any questions today, I thank you very much for your time and attention. This is Michael Estrin on behalf of Kichler Lighting. Please call your Kichler representative anytime for help, layout assistance. We're here to help you. Thank you.